My beloved soul, if you could have heard the way they spoke your name last night, your heart might have skipped a beat. Not from sadness, but from the raw, beautiful truth that someone finally, truly sees you. Archangel Michael leans close and says, "Something happened just yesterday, and it shifted everything in their heart. This wasn't just a passing thought. This was heaven's timing, a moment written into the story long before you knew it was coming. And oh, it was powerful. Picture this. They were sitting with friends, the very same ones who once doubted you, the ones who tried to convince them to move on, to forget, to let go of what they felt for you. And then, without warning, someone showed your picture. In an instant, the room changed. Conversations paused. One person, half in disbelief, whispered, "Are you sure this person is real?" The silence that followed wasn't empty. It was full of presence, full of heaven. Your photo moved through their hands like it was something rare, something holy. Some laughed, but not because they were mocking you. It was nervous laughter. They didn't know how to handle the energy radiating from that image. Others simply stared, eyes fixed, trying to make sense of what they felt. And then, someone spoke words that cut through the noise. No wonder you can't forget them. Look at their eyes. They've been through pain, but they still shine. They didn't just see a face. They saw your journey, your scars, the light that refuses to dim, no matter what's tried to put it out. Through your eyes, they saw your soul. The one who loves you didn't leap in to defend you. They didn't need to. They simply smiled. That smile carried the peace of someone who knows the truth doesn't need explaining anymore. Michael says this moment wasn't random. Heaven set it up. Every glance, every heartbeat, every word exchanged, all orchestrated. Why? To awaken something in their heart they had been trying to bury. And it worked. If you feel your chest tightening right now, it's because your spirit knows this isn't just a story, it's your reality. Heaven has been sending you this message in whispers for days. Through dreams, sudden memories, unshakable feelings that make no sense in your head, but feel undeniable in your soul. You didn't land here by accident. You were pulled here. Because here's what they said. And it went beyond looks. They called your energy unmatched. They said it felt like you'd walked through fire, and instead of being consumed, you emerged glowing. They said you carried something sacred. Not just a survivor, but a transformer. Someone who shifts the air when they enter a room. They compared you not to a person, but to light, to hope, to healing. Michael whispers their heart raced when they saw you. But this wasn't just attraction, it was recognition. Something ancient stirred inside them. It was as if a forgotten dream suddenly came rushing back, a deep, knowing whispering. This is the one. And then came a sentence that shook them to the core. One voice in the room said, "You'd better tell them how you feel before someone else does." Lightning. That's what it felt like. Not fear, urgency. The kind of urgency that makes someone pace the floor and wonder why they've waited this long. From that moment, their silence wasn't the same. Michael says they were given a warning, and they've made a decision. A big one. If you thought their quiet meant they didn't care, you've been wrong. Their silence has always been too full, too heavy. Their feelings were too deep for simple words. But after last night, that quiet cracked. When their friends said, "You'd be a fool to let them go," they heard it differently. It was heaven speaking through people who once couldn't see you, but now do. You have never been just a fleeting crush to them. You've been a divine mirror, a living answer to a prayer they didn't even know how to put into words. The awakening has started, and with awakening comes urgency. After everyone left, they didn't slip back into routine. They stayed still, quiet. Your photo didn't leave their hands. They zoomed in, smiled faintly, and whispered something so low even angels had to lean in to hear. "I can't lose them. Not again." Then came the tears. Not of sadness, but of recognition. Every time they had ignored the pull toward you. Every time pride drowned out love. Every moment they told themselves to let go, when their soul was screaming to hold on. It all came flooding back. Michael says heaven, in mercy, gave them one more push. And you, beloved, are the reason their heart is alive again with hope. You've been feeling them, haven't you? Waking at strange hours, 2:14 a.m., 11:33 p.m., feeling their energy like a wave, wondering if you're imagining it. You're not. They've been feeling you too. Every time they try to push you from their thoughts, heaven reminds them of your smile. That smile, one friend said, could heal the world. And your person didn't argue, because they know it's true. Michael leans closer and says, "Your smile holds power. It shifts atmospheres. It moves the unseen. That's why heaven is moving pieces you can't yet see, aligning your paths again. But there's something important you need to know. In that room, among the smiles and stares, one person's heart was not as pure as it seemed. They once carried feelings for your person. And the moment your photo appeared, something inside them reawakened. They smiled on the outside, but inside, jealousy and longing stirred. And now, they're planning to act. Heaven isn't telling you this to spark fear, but to protect you. Because this connection isn't just about romance. It's about your soul's calling. When your image entered that space, something timeless stirred. A memory beyond this lifetime. You've known each other before, far longer than you realize. And now, others are sensing it too. That's why one of their friends looked between you two and said, "They don't just look good together. They look destined." That word, destined, landed hard. Because once destiny is seen, it can't be unseen. Your person has been hiding their heart for so long, but last night their friends caught a glimpse. Their silence wasn't emptiness, it was a mask. But when your name slipped into the conversation, their tone shifted. It softened. It trembled. It carried something ancient. Michael says you must prepare now for something sacred. This next part might break your heart open, but only so it can heal more deeply than before. Yesterday, They almost reached out to you. The message was written, their finger hovering over the send button. But then someone in that circle said, "What if they don't feel the same?" Fear won that round. They froze. But you didn't. You're here, reading this, which means your heart is ready. And because your heart is ready, heaven is ready too. The next chapter of your life will not look like the last. You will not be forgotten this time. You will not be overlooked. This time, you will be chosen. It all begins with one choice, one moment, one step of faith. Michael urges you, breathe deeply now. Something holy is beginning. Your person is planning something bold. Something even their closest friends won't see coming. They're done asking for advice. They're done listening to outside voices. They want you, the one who looked in that photo like a wish whispered to heaven. A prayer answered late, but still in perfect timing. Last night, after the house fell quiet, they stayed up scrolling through your pictures, reading old messages, whispering your name like it still had power over them, because it does. Then they did something they haven't done before. They searched for places near where you live. This isn't just about sending a message anymore. They want to see you. One question from their friends rang in their mind over and over. How could you let someone like that go? It broke something open. And now, they're coming. Not because they need you, but because they finally understand they were never meant to lose you. Michael wants you to understand it was never indifference. It was never that they didn't care. In truth, they cared so much it scared them. They pulled back, not because of lack, but because they felt unworthy, like they might ruin something too beautiful to touch. But now, something has shifted. Your image, your energy, your words. Something pierced through the walls they built. For the first time, they see it clearly. You were never too much. You were always the blessing they weren't ready to receive. And yes, they're still afraid. But now, their fear isn't of love. It's of time. They know they might not have forever to make this right. That's why they're choosing differently now. Choosing courage. Choosing to speak truths they've buried for years. Michael says they've been holding onto a secret, one that explains everything. Why they ghosted when things got close. Why they stayed silent, even when their heart was screaming. It was never rejection. It was fear of being seen. Fear of being loved in the way you love, because it demanded they rise into a version of themselves they weren't sure they could become. But love is winning now. Heaven has been guiding both of you back to the heart of a bond that never truly broke, only paused. And right now, your being here is no accident. Something sacred is unfolding. Michael warns there's a window, a holy moment, and it won't stay open forever. You have less than 4 days before the energy shifts into a new phase. So don't ignore what your spirit is telling you. If your chest feels tight, if tears come out of nowhere, if they've been in your dreams again, it's not coincidence. It's alignment. Last night in the quiet, they dreamed of you. You were in white. Smiling. Behind you, a door they'd never seen before. They felt pulled toward it, but just before they could reach it, they woke. Michael says, that door is real. In the spiritual realm, it's opening now. The question is, will you both step through it this time? Or will fear slam it shut again? Because they are not the same person you remember. Something inside them has broken open. Truth has that effect. It shakes. It frees. It changes. Even their friends see it. The same friend who once said, "Forget them," looked into their eyes last night and said, "You'd be a fool not to fight for this." And for the first time, your person didn't argue. Michael says it plainly. They're coming. And they're not coming empty-handed.